Guys, welcome back to the video. My name is just Watchdog, and today we're going to be talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a game series that I've been playing on the channel for about a year. It doesn't feel like a year, but this game has outlasted a lot of games, such as Watch Dogs, Oxenfree, After Party, Legend of Zelda, I guess, Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah, we still haven't finished those games. I will come back to finish those games. One day in history. Probably Legend of Zelda will probably take over Red Dead Redemption when it finishes. And then after that, Super Mario Odyssey. Then, yeah. But today, we're going to be doing a series called Ending Thoughts. Ending Thoughts is a series intended for people who's watched every single video inside the playlist. But today, we're going to be talking about the story, the chapters, the characters, the arcs, the music. Man, the music. Okay, let's start talking. The story. The story starts off with us inside of the frozen wasteland known as the Ambrino area. The Ambrino area is the snowy part of the map of Red Dead Redemption. Of Red Dead Redemption's new handover. It is very snowy, and this is where we end up after getting chased out of Blackwater, and pretty much we're on the run looking for shelter. This is basically just a tutorial area. I give this place like 4 out of 10. Like, the only reason it would get like a 9 and above if they had more story missions or better story missions. The two ones that I think are the best is the first one where we go to Coulter and and they're teaching us how to shoot and stuff like that. We run into Sadie's house, and we basically save Sadie from the O'Driscolls, and yeah, she becomes a part of our game. They have that really good music, and I feel like, oh yeah, guys, my favorite time period is the 1800s because of cowboys and outlaws and stuff like that, and the Pinkertons, I guess. So, and then pretty much, yeah. Then the last mission, we're all packing up, and then we go to New Handover, which is the start of Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is basically where we go. Chapter 2 is basically where we start our new place. We're in New Handover, and we first place or town that we ever go to is Valentine. Valentine on the charts out of Saint Denis, Rhodes, Blackwater, all the places that we can visit. Well, all the places that we can visit are Valentine, Rhodes, and Saint Denis. Those are pretty much all the cities that we really visit. We don't ever visit Blackwater except for one mission where we have to save Sean, however you say his name. Just think of him as the ginger Irish kid that got captured by the Americans and he got bullied. And we don't really go to the new Austin area. The first time I ever saw the new Austin area was when I went over to Red Dead Online, and I saw like, whoa, the entire map was full. Which I wish they made it to where you're able to discover the map. Then yeah, but still, that's a pretty good feature and stuff like that. We go to Valentine and we basically meet Javier, and Javier has a girlfriend, and I said, holy personality. She has a lot of personality. Yeah, personality. Yeah, but basically, we get into a bar fight and we start punching this guy out. Now, this is the part where I messed up on because I beat the game before, but I wanted to play it on that channel, and I kind of messed up and played the mission during the daytime. The mission looks way better at nighttime, and if you guys want me to go back and do that, then I could do that just for. Yeah, but pretty much nothing really to say about this. I give this chapter a 9 out of 10. This chapter pretty much nothing happens except that we find a city and we get into a bar fight. We meet with my friend Lenny, and I also saw some things when we were looking for Lenny while we were drunk. Yeah. But then now we move on to chapter 3. Oh yeah. Did I mention that we robbed the bank in that mission? In that chapter, we robbed the bank and then we got kicked out of the city. And if we ever show our face there, we're gonna get lit up just like Blackwater. So we had to leave. We went over to Rhodes. Rhodes, the brand new city, the brand new chapter. Dutch wants to turn a new leaf and stop being outlaws and start being lawmen. But it goes terribly sour or really bad when we start learning about the Braithwaites and the Greys. The Braithwaites and the Greys are just these two families that, They just don't like each other. But there's this love story between the Braithwaites and the Greys that is secretly happening during all of this, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, Will Turner and Elizabeth Turner, or whatever her last name was. You know, it's been a while. Disney Plus, yeah, took off on Stranger Times. But that's not what we're talking about today. Pretty much, Dutch, he wants to be lawman, and we're all doing pretty good and fine until the lawmen, they capture one of our men. They take, oh yeah, so look, here's what happened. The lawmen, they took Sean, and then they killed Sean. They also took Pearson. They also took Pearson and Bill, but Bill and, yeah, we used our Deadeye. We killed all of the lawmen. But then we also left the city with a massacre. With Sean dead, now we have to move to a new place. But when we start to move, boom, Jack. He's the little boy. He's basically pretty much he's around like 6 or 7, maybe even 8 years old. We went fishing with him one time in the Valentine area, but still, we find out that he's missing and he's gone. And we find out that he was taken away by Angelo Bronte. And we basically go over to the Braithwaites because we think the Braithwaites did it, because the Braithwaites always trying to get us. Always has been trying to get us this entire time we were here. And and we start going over there. We go over there. We burn the Braithwaite Manor down to the ground, and they're like, and then we throw the lady in there with fire. And I thought that was cruel until I played Red Dead Redemption 2 online, and you could do this moonshiner mission, and you find out that Maggie was thrown into a house on fire. So maybe she's probably still alive. We don't know, but you can go into the epilogue and see the burnt remnants of the Braithwaite Manor, which is now not there anymore. And yeah, we had a whole massacre and stuff like that. We found Jack wasn't there, so we moved over to Saint Denis. We actually leveled up this time. When we moved over to Saint Denis, we found a now abandoned, basically just a house. That was where I spent most of my money, and I couldn't afford anything else because I spent money on a stupid canoe that we weren't be able to use. I also spent money on a chicken coop, which I was never gonna use. Yeah, I spent a lot of money on that thing. I got everything down to 100, or the highest level it can get to. Yeah, pretty much I messed it all up. But then we're leveling up in the world. We had to kill all the people that were there, which were the crazy Civil War veterans. Those were the people that thought the war was still going on, but it's 1899, nearly 100 years later. But still, we took all of them out, disposed all of the bodies inside the lake. Alligators ate them all, and then we moved the camp over. Then we start looking for Jack. Now, we meet Angelo Bronte in the worst way possible. We barge into his place after Dutch seemingly knocks out someone at the front gate. We go into his house, and everybody starts pointing guns at us because we're outlaws. And that's just casually what they do. They see an outlaw, oh, raise a gun at them. Oh, you bump into someone, oh, they're gonna start shooting at you. That's just the Red Dead Redemption 2 experience. Then we have to run some errands for Angelo Bronte. Like, we basically grave dig, or we grave stole. I forgot what it is called. But basically, we just stole stuff from people's graves. And there's also a missing video from that because I deleted it by accident, and now that video is just not there anymore. That was a video where we basically killed Angelo Bronte. We killed him. He's dead. He was dead for good. Yeah, we threw him into a lake by accident. But then we saved Jack, and Jack was like, "Oh wow, guys, he treat me real nice. Like look at me, I got this all big tuxedo, and also he also had this very fancy thing called spaghetti." And yeah, pretty much he threw away those clothes and never wore them again through the entire series. But when Jack was back, everything was all good. We had a whole celebration, and then boom, faded away. And then, yeah, then the Pinkertons found out we were here, so we had to leave. Dutch, and this is when we go into chat. Wait, we're already in chapter 4, Saint Denis, but we're almost at my favorite chapter, chapter 5, Guarma. But Yeah, a lot of things happened in Saint Denis. We went on a train and freaking we went to go rob a place so then we could go get some stuff, rob some place, get some money. But then we couldn't get there in time. We got there, but there was no money. Dutch was surprisingly overtaken. And then we saw the trolley. We took over the trolley. We shot a couple people off of it. Got shot a couple of lawmen. And then after that, freaking Dutch doesn't know how to control a train properly, so we had to try and stop it, and we can't control a train properly. So then we pretty much crashed into a stagecoach, and then Dutch sustained brain damage. Now, everybody says this, it's just because Dutch has been doing some irrational stuff after this concussion or whatever he goes through. Then then we escaped the lawmen. Then we're like, guys, we need to get out of here. The Pinkertons and the lawmen, they're going to find out where we're going to be here anytime soon. Then Dutch is like, we should crash a cruise party. So we continue going to do that after we went to the mayor's block party, which pretty much nothing happens. And then we go over to the place, and it was good, in my opinion. I didn't like the part where we swam because I felt like I was gonna die, because swimming in that game is pretty bad because you're not supposed to be in the water. There's no point of being in the water. But yeah, we were on our way to chapter 5, Guarma. This was when Dutch was like, we need more money. Have faith, Arthur. Have faith. And then he was like, I have a plan. I got a god demonetization plan. Pretty much, he did not have a plan. We go into the boat and we couldn't find our way off of it. So then we're stowaways now. It was all because Dutch wanted to steal some money. It was all because of the bank robbery. Now look, this is probably my favorite part of chapter 4, the ending of chapter 4, because they went all out with this one. This was amazing. We actually went to go to the bank. We went to go to the bank so we can finally rob the bank, get some more money. And then the lawmen started to show up. So then we needed to flee. John was captured. Lenny, my boy Lenny, he gave me a lot of end passes. He died sadly on the top of a roof. And then we escaped to an abandoned building. We waited till night until they weren't looking for us as much. And then we escaped onto a boat. This was also when Charles had to abandon us because he was black, and then they don't like black people, so the lawmen chased them away as a distraction. Then we made our way onto the boat, and then Dutch was like, "Oi, I need to speak to the captain or the conductor." And then pretty much we start chapter 5, Guarma. I have to say chapter 4 was probably, I'm gonna put it an 8 out of 10. It was a pretty good chapter. It was pretty good. I like the Angelo Bronte stuff. I also like the ending to it where we went on a freaking boat. That was pretty good. Oh yeah, I didn't say what my favorite thing was about chapter 3. Chapter 3 was chapter 3. Not really a lot of stuff happened in chapter 3. I would give it a 5 out of 10 cuz I don't know why Dutch wanted to try and be good, because why would he want to be good? Because they're just gonna find out eventually that we were not what we seemed. But still, Dutch wanted to do it anyways, and that's what happened. Then then we move over to chapter 5, Guarma. Now in the previous chapter 4, when we were still on the boat, Bill was like, that doesn't look so good. And it was a storm heading straight towards us. Next, we cut to chapter 5, Guarma. Arthur is sleeping, and then Dutch wakes him up, and then we're on the high seas. Like, literally, the boat is rising and falling at the same time. And then, boom, the boat is somehow on fire in the ocean filled with water. But the boat has caught on fire, and we need to get out of here. We got out of here in time, luckily. But Dutch and everybody else, they got on a boat because we couldn't get there in time because we were some storage units fell over and we couldn't get past. So then Arthur had to jump off and survive, and then boom, we end up in a mysterious wasteland. Welcome to the new world, Guarma. Now Guarma's off of Cuba, which was where we were trying to go originally. The place we were trying to go is Tahiti, which is apparently a place where no one's ever been to, and there's a lot of potatoes and pineapples and stuff like that. But imagine if Tahiti was real and they actually went there, and then the story was going to be great. That would be good if they would have done that, but they couldn't. But we end up in Guarma, chapter 5, my favorite chapter, which is almost has less missions than the first chapter 1, Coulter. But this one is more jam packed. We meet Takala. He rescues us from the immigrants of Spain, Then we get put in the change after we meet up with Dutch, because because Arthur was like, "What's next, Dutch?" And then freaking the lawmen of Cuba show up, and they're like, and Dutch was like, "Well, I guess we're gonna get shot." And then we got put in a change. We were walking. Takala saves us. Blah 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 blah. But during that scene, Javier got shot in the knee, and pretty much we had to leave him to die. I didn't like that part. I say no man left behind. We could have carried him away. But we got to a safe haven, pretty much was our new campsite, and bam, we were in Guarma. This is honestly one of my favorites. And then Dutch also meets this Spanish person that literally has gold bars, kills her, but doesn't even take the gold bars back. Like, what the and yeah, pretty much Dutch give her gold bars, but yeah. We go to the Spanish place and we save Javier. We were like, we really should start to get out of here. And then I go to this tree for some reason, I don't know why, and boom, pretty much some Spanish guy was like, yeah, he basically yelled at us a bunch of times, and he was like, and then we got shot in the neck with a trank dart, and then pretty much we met Chikala's other friends, and then we saved him. We saved him from being hanged and shot and stuff like that. And then we moved to the last mission, which, man, this chapter was already so good. And then we move on to the last mission. The last mission. Boom. We are on basically the fort. The fort is where they is act like their hideout, and then the next time we see the fort, we are in the fort because we are trying to attack this boat. We sink the boat eventually from the Spanish, but then we have to move over to like this little village area, and then that was when we almost killed the captain. We get off of Guarma, we end up in Vanahorn, and then we start our new chapter 6, Beaver's Hope. I give chapter 5 10 out of 10. I love that chapter. Chapter 5 is the best. But the thing is, Rockstar apparently took out 5 hours of gameplay, so they removed the Neanderthal. They also removed the option to freaking fast travel to Guarma. Why would they remove this feature? This feature would have been great. I would have finally be able to see Chikala again. Like, freaking love that guy, Chikala. But I love the area. There was no other place in the entire map of Red Dead Redemption than that. But they removed it for some reason, even though they could have needed it. Because, please, just add the feature where we're able to fast travel back. And there's also, they added, and then for some reason they gave us Xbox achievements and stuff like that, to where we need to go to Guarma. And if you don't get that stuff from Guarma, then, well, you either want to restart that chapter or restart the entire game to do it. If you're like one of those completionists, which there is actually a completionist thing in Red Dead Redemption, which makes you have to get every single achievement in the entire game. But yeah, now let's move over to Beaver's Hope. Beaver's Hope, God. Chapter 6 was the biggest one out of them all. We helped the Indians out. We basically killed a bunch of lawmen for them. But we also meet Rains Fall. Now, Rains Fall is someone that we meet after we get back from Guarma, from the boat, and then we basically blow up the oil factory. We have to save him from the fort, and that's also the last time that Arthur ever got to talk to Charles. Charles, the boy. He was the person who went with us everywhere. Whenever we went into Valentine, he was the person who rode with us. Also, Lenny did too. But Man, chapter 6 was when everything went downhill. After the greatest chapter of all, chapter 5, Karma, but pretty much the game was starting to divide at the end of the chapter. And then yeah, also did I mention that Abigail got stolen? Abigail got kidnapped pretty much, and when she got kidnapped, Dutch was like, "You know what? We don't need to go for her." But then we went to go save her. We saved her. We also saved John, who was about to get hanged inside of a prison. Did I mention that we rode an air balloon? Hot air balloon? That was amazing. That was fun. Sadie was also there too. She almost got killed by dangling on a just a rope that was attached to the hot air balloon. And then the hot air balloon crashed. We started a forest fire. Smokey the Bear got pretty mad, but let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. And then, yeah, pretty much what happens. Abigail gives us a key, and she was like, I know, John told you this, but the chest, it's inside of there." And then we go over to our last campsite, which is in Beaver's Hope, and then we have basically Red Dead Redemption 2's version of Way Down We Go, but way better. Basically, we ride down. We having memories and flashbacks of everyone. Reverend, Mary Beth, Micah, Dutch, every person we've met along the way. But yeah, Arthur's life is coming to an end after he was diagnosed with pretty much cancer because he has tuberculosis because he's been smoking too much. Even if you eat a lot of greens during the entire game, you will still end up with tuberculosis, which, yeah, that I don't understand that. Like, yeah, but we go there, and then everybody was like, we need to leave, we need to start packing up, and the game was already starting to divide. But then John comes back, and he was like, "You left me to die." And he was like, and Dutch was like, "Son, I had no choice. Think about the people. Think about the gang." He was like, "You left me to die." And then we had a whole shootout. It was great. Outlaws for life. Miss Grimshaw died for some reason because Micah shot her for some reason. Don't know why. I think it was because she was going to side with us. Because Arthur's done a lot. I think if everybody else was there, I thought Javier was gonna join us, but Javier isn't gonna join us. Then he left as the Pinkertons began to swarm us, and you guys already know the rest. We went into the cave. We went around. We went onto a mountain. I fought Micah, but Micah won in the end. He ended up killing Arthur Morgan as Dutch walked away and let his number one outlaw die. And yeah, I give chapter 6. Chapter 6 gets about a 9 out of 10 for being the end of the game and just going out with a big final. But now let's move over to the second thing, second out of 3. The songs. The song in this game are really good. I love the freaking Guarma themes. It was like, that stuff is really good. The Saint Denis's song sounds like 1930s to 40s stuff. Yeah, that's all I can really say. The outside music is really good when you're just riding your horse to different areas, and yeah, pretty much stuff like that happens. There's a lot of stuff in Red Dead Redemption 2. You can even meet Satan, which, yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. There's even meteors that you can find in that game. You can even find them in online, but yeah. Now let's move on to the third thing we're going to talk about this video, the characters. The characters, in my opinion, were great. Now, there was a lot of characters in Red Dead Redemption. There's 80 story missions, 80 characters we have to finish off. Now look, Reverend, we met him as he was almost about to get run over by a train, but we saved him and he became sober. Because, yeah, most of the time in the game, he was just drinking. That's pretty much all he did. And we got him sober. And that wasn't the same for Kirsten, because Kirsten, she died at the end. We don't know what happened to her in chapter 6, but we know that what we know is that she's dead. But we got him sober. He went away. He just like, "Arthur, I'm gonna miss you." And then Arthur was like, I'm scared. And but then yeah, pretty much he gets on a train and leaves. Same as Mary Beth. Everybody just kind of leaves, fades away. Pearson, he becomes the new gunsmith in Rhodes. If you go into the epilogue, we'll go over there one day inside the epilogue, and yeah, he will be there. He's gonna be the new gunsmith. Miss Grimshaw dead. Jack and Abigail and John, they all left. We see him in we see him in the epilogue. Arthur, single-handedly my favorite character of all. Even out of Aiden Pierce and Marcus Holloway and Wrench, Satara, Hot Sauce, Horatio, hated Horatio, and also T-Bone, everybody from the Watch Dogs franchise. Arthur just outdoes everybody. We grow with Arthur. We grow a literal beard with Arthur. That's when we become men. But Arthur was great. He felt like Red Dead Redemption 2 felt like a game that you would see, the game felt like a movie. Like, you could just watch every single cutscene and you'd be like, dang, that's a movie right there. But, yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great game. Love it to death. The game is so good. In fact, I'm giving it a higher score than Watch Dogs. I'm giving this game a 10 out of 10. Red Dead Redemption 2 just deserves it. It's just a really good game. Comment down below if you guys want me to play the original Red Dead Redemption game after Red Dead Redemption 2 instead of Legend of Zelda. I was gonna get it and just play it, but then I was just like, that's a pretty bad idea. Because the game's graphics aren't that good. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 just amped up the graphics like to a 20 basically. And now it looks like real people, but it really is real people. Same as the horses and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm going to miss Red Dead Redemption 2 when it fades away, but it's still going to be one of my top 3 games. Number 1, Watch Dogs. Number 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, and number 3, Minecraft. I said I was never going to use this voice ever again, but Minecraft Story Mode Season 2. Man, that series was great. But hopefully you guys did this video by me, Mr. Watchdog. If you guys did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Red Dead Redemption 2 gets a 10 out of 10. It's Mr. Watchdog, and catch you guys on the flip side.